Invictus, my kings, and welcome back to the Slavicus Maximus channel, and welcome back to Total Fall of the Samurai, this time playing as the United States in Total War Shogun 2, using obviously the Total Fall of the Samurai mod, and playing as the United States of America. Yes, indeed. Now, we've played this mod before, no need for any sort of lengthy introduction, I don't think so. Well, let's just get on with it. Really, we're going to build some buildings. We're gonna conquer the province town, or we are going to conquer the town of Izu, which belongs to the clan of Odawara. Then we're gonna push further into Sagami. Then we're gonna go for Musashi probably, and the goal of this campaign is to conquer all the way to Yamashiro. Yes, Yamashiro over here, and then conquer northwards basically, or eastwards, northwards, however you want to say. We're gonna conquer the eastern portion of the map, just as in the British campaign we conquered the western portion of the map. This time we will conquer the eastern portion of the map, which is relatively self-explanatory. I think nothing too out of the ordinary or unusual about that. We will just push forward with our conquest. Yes, indeed. And that's going to be that. Nothing too complicated, I don't think so. We're going to declare war. They should be joined by an ally, and the ally joined their war. So Musashi, which was on our target list anyway, it just got easier. We don't have to declare a separate war and contend with any potential allies of theirs. All we have to do is push forward, and that's going to be the goal of this part. We want to establish ourselves as quickly as possible. Now, that's one of the most important things when playing this mod as one of the Western factions, where be it United States or the campaigns we have played as Prussia or the United Kingdom. You essentially want to establish yourself as quickly as possible, so that let's actually exempt that from taxation. You want to establish yourself as quickly as possible so that the enemy doesn't have enough time to build up massive armies at the beginning, even though you can see that at the very beginning the enemy has no armies, and the future conquest territories have very little armies, very few armies, very small armies, mostly just their general and the garrison, and not much of anything else. And we want to keep it, we want to seize the moment while we have the advantage of quality and quantity. We want to establish ourselves as quickly as possible in the Japanese Isles, as it seems relatively straightforward. Just a standard strategy. So we're gonna push forward over here. This army can join this army, so we have a little bit of a bigger force. We can repair the fortress, and I think we will we will sort of try and keep our expenses down to an absolute minimum. We won't really build much of anything for the first portion of the campaign, because as you can see our income is relatively low, and we will want to supplement that by conquering all these territories. We'll want to raise our income quite a bit, and but for that we have to conquer. We have to raise the mounting unrest. I think this is one of the provinces where the unrest actually isn't bugged, and where we will get a little bit of a rebellion. So we'll see how that goes forward. But our general gains a rank, very well, very nice. What we have for offer: loyalty of general, honor a faction leader, morale of all units under this man's command. Now we definitely want morale, and we definitely want aggressor. So we definitely making some solid progress here. Izu, it's going to rebel. What can you do? I think our garrison should be good enough to as to where the rebellious army or whichever rebellion pops up here doesn't have the resource, doesn't have an easy time of just conquering our province. We'll see. Sometimes you can get quite big revolts. Let's see, how big is the revolt. It's just levy infantry. You should be able to push them back with the garrison forces relatively simply, but what we want to do with the main army is just to conquer and continue conquering as quickly as possible. And next up is going to be Musashi. While they have little to no armies, we want to push as far and as fast and as hard as possible, while it's still easy for us to do so before we run into any real opposition. We want to conquer as much of the Japanese Isles as possible without necessarily building any expensive buildings or maintaining any large multiple stack armies. You want to conquer as quickly as possible, because usually peace treaty, no, I don't think so, because usually there we go, the rebellion, and it has attacked our port. And what can you do? Enemy raid, nothing to really do about that except for pushing forward. We push on to Musashi and decisive victory again, peacefully occupy. What we might want to do with this army is to swing back and actually go take care of the rebellion before the rebellion does any more damage. We won't really repair any of this stuff. We could, but the rebellion is probably going to attack. Next up, the subsistence farm. It's going to be a little bit painful, but we'll tank it. Nothing to really do, so this army can head back and take care of the rebel army, and then probably go and attack the city of Suruga. And that's maybe even Kai. Maybe we sort of carve out a little bit of a small kingdom-sized hold here in the first initial parts of the campaign. We definitely want to establish ourselves as quickly as possible, because the rebellions are bugged, which means that the rebellions just don't matter. And I think our garrisons are just strong enough as to where, there we go, they attacked the subsistence farming. Very sad, but unlike in for example, Total War Attila or Total War Rome 2, I don't actually know if in Rome 2 the rebellion armies recruit soldiers, but I think they do. So unlike in those games, we really do not. Might want to actually get some basic. No. We will keep our money for the time being. We will once we conquer Suruga and Kai, that's when we will start developing our lands. But for the time being, we want to create a little bit of a war chest, so that our money doesn't go into complete disarray. And there we go, they are actually attacking, and we managed to lose. So Izu, we have lost Izu. Oh well, what can you do? But here we go, the main army is going to advance back, and we will recapture Izu very shortly. Hopefully the rebels actually manage to repair some of the stuff that they have damaged. That would be for the best. But as you can see, our income didn't even really sustain any sort of damage once we lost the territory. It just it is what it is. The individual territories in these games, unless you build them up, unless you really build them up, they aren't actually worth all that much. It looks like they aren't necessarily repairing anything, so once we recapture Izu, we will have to repair it ourselves. Very sad. We also lost a general. So that's a little bit of a pain, I guess. It's something that we'll just have to contend with. But yeah, we'll recapture Izu. Afterwards, we'll push on to Suruga and Kai, and we might want to actually exempt Izu from taxation if they will continue to be rebellious. But as you can see, the rebellions are still a little bit bugged, apart from a couple of provinces here and there. Decisive victory, peacefully occupy, and Izu absolutely destroyed. What we might want to repair relatively selectively. So the subsistence farm is going to be repaired, the harbor is going to be repaired, and the deposits are going to be repaired. But the rest, like the stronghold and the town, that's just way too expensive. We can't afford that. The town itself, we might want to actually repair that, and we will exempt Izu from taxation once we move out, just to prevent another rebellion. But Suruga, as you can see, a little bit of an army growing. It's going to be kind of annoying to take care of, but yeah, we'll just have to manage. So I think we have enough of a quality and quantity advantage as to where it doesn't matter for the time being. And even if it is a little bit of a struggle, I think we'll manage to overcome. Nothing can stand in the way of democracy. Yes, indeed. Managed to complete our research. The town, yeah, we probably get around to repairing the other stuff once. Okay, so a bunch of people again at war with us. Oh, we are now at war with Kakegawa. So instead of going for Kai, we'll go for Kakegawa. Izu now actually can't be exempt from taxation. Very sad. So what we'll do is just build some colonial infantry to stand in, to station them in Izu, just in case there is another rebellion. And so that we have an easier time dealing with the rebellion. It's, well, what can you do? It's just how the game plays. We'll just have to deal with the rebellions as they come. They want a peace treaty. That's absolutely not happening. Yeah, not happening at all. Here we go, Sagami rebellion. No rebellion in sight, but these 3 units can go now to Izu, and these will be our garrisons for when we deal with future rebellions. Here we go, attacking Suruga. Easy conquest, easy capture. Perry Antony, strange name for a general, but Perry Antony definitely leveling up, gaining some nice ranks. Very cool. So Suruga has been captured. We can now repair the fortress, and then we will push on to Totomi. Well, looks like someone declared war on us. Very cool. So who was that? Oh, let me just quickly. Faction joins your enemies. Very fine, no problem. And let's now exempt them from taxation. Very cool. So who are we at war with? We are at war with quite a few people, actually. So what we might want to do is actually get a peace treaty with Kakegawa. No, that's not happening. So what about Numata? Request peace. Not happening. Utsunomiya, those are the guys that declared war on us. Not happening. The peace is just not happening. So, a very hectic beginning, I would say. They have a small stack over here. A little bit of an army. It's going to take them a while before they get to us. What we might want to do is... we'll see if they advance, but Totomi is still the closest enemy province that we have, so we are definitely gonna march towards Totomi, capture Totomi, then swing back with the army and go for Utsunomiya and Numata. Yeah, I think that's going to be what we're gonna do. So, well, let's get on to capturing Totomi. Alright, again mounting unrest, nothing to worry about though. Is still burning. It's gonna be burning for a little while, that's for sure. But here we go, let's capture Totomi. They have a bunch of generals, but it's not going to save them at all. And yeah, we've begun to carve out a little bit of a thin holding. And not necessarily a lot of, we have more of a coastal holding, so to say. So lots of opportunities for trade, and as you can see, I've established a little bit of some trade routes. Let's also trade with the Koreans, because why not? We have the opportunity. Our income has been supplemented a little bit. So now we will, okay, Kozuke, the clan of Numata, building a little bit of an army over here. Hopefully they don't start marching towards Musashi or Sagami. But the clan of Utsunomiya still just standing around, not doing much. We will swing with the army on which currently is stationed in Totomi. We'll swing back with them and continue our conquest to the city of Shimotsuke and Kozuke. And what we might want to actually do is, well, first we will march westwards, and because the British conquered Yamashiro, we might actually get into quite a little bit of trouble with the British, to be honest. It's going to be, well, we'll have to wipe them out. They are encroaching on our designated territory, so to say. It's going to be a little bit of a very early conflict between the Western powers. But anyway, they shouldn't have encroached in our territory. Yamashiro is ours. Anything eastward of Yamashiro and Yamashiro itself is ours. What we might want to actually do is capture as many provinces that belong to the non-Western powers. Just capture as many of them as possible, and then we'll see whether we go for the Prussians first or the British. That's going to be quite a little bit pincered in here as the Americans, a little bit squeezed in. So we'll see whether we first go for the east and north, and then head towards Yamashiro. Yamashiro being the obvious end point, which we always somehow fight over as the British, as the Prussians, and now we're going to have to fight over it as the Americans as well. So we'll see. We'll see what we do, but for the time being, we will carve out an empire here. Actually, the Prussians are encroaching even closer on us. So yeah, Fukushima, that city, and Echigo. Yeah, the Prussians seem like they are going to be the first target of our anti-Western advance. European colonialism must be stopped. What we are doing is not colonialism. We are simply spreading democracy. Yes, indeed, we are just spreading democracy. This is very much not colonialism at all. And yeah, well, anyway, thanks, Kings, for watching, and I will see you next time.